Welcome back, guys. On today's agenda, we have an added definition, and then we're going to do some practice, and then tonight for homework is a Google form. But in the class today, you should be able to describe relationships between angles and solve for missing angles. So, the first vocab term is consecutive interior angles. These are two angles that are on the same side of your transversal, and they're both inside a set of lines. So like looking here at this image, angle 3 and angle 5 would be considered consecutive interior angles because they're both inside this set of lines here and they lie on the same side of the transversal. So notice they're both to the left of it. So we say consecutive interior. And if these lines add up to be, these angles add up to be 180 degrees, we say that the two lines are parallel. So go ahead, looking at this image, name the consecutive interior angles. So you should have gotten angle 3 and angle 6, because notice again, they're both inside line segments K and I, and they both lie on the right side of the transversal, and then angles 4 and 5. So again, inside the line segments K and I, and they both lie to the left of the transversal line L. Then we have consecutive exterior angles. So these are two angles that are consecutive exterior angles when both angles are outside of the same two lines and are on the same side of the transversal. So again, we have this transversal line T, and if you notice, angle 1 and angle 2 lie outside of these set of lines, but they're both to the left of the transversal. So that means that they're consecutive exterior angles because they're on the same side, the left-hand side, and they're both on the outside of these two lines. And then again, if the lines are parallel, then these two angles will add up to 180 degrees. So keyword is if they're parallel. So go ahead and name the consecutive exterior angles in this image. And you should have gotten 2 and 7 and 1 and 8. So again, 2 and 7, that's parallelized outside of line segments K and I, and they're on that same side of the transversal, and the same thing can be said for angle 1 and angle 8. So go ahead and determine for me if line segments K and I are parallel, given the information that you have. So what you should have done is you should have noticed first off that angle 2 and angle 7 are consecutive exterior angles. So now what we want to do, since they're consecutive exterior angles, is we want to take the sum, because remember, if their sum adds up to 180 degrees, then those two line segments indeed are parallel. If not, then the two line segments are not parallel. So if we go ahead and add up 72 and 108, we in fact get 180. So that means K and I are parallel. So now in this problem, line segments K and I are parallel, solve for X. So we're given that in the problem, we know that line segments K and I are parallel. So since we know that, and we know looking on this image, angle 3 and angle 6 are what type of angles? You should have said you should have said consecutive interior angles. So that means that they should add up to 180. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my equation. 98 plus 2x plus 16 equals 180. Then I'm going to go ahead and do the algebra, combining like terms, subtracting 114 of both sides, and then dividing by 2 gets me 33. I can always check my solution by substituting it back into my equation and just making sure that it equals to 180. And in fact, it does. And then again, line segments K and I are parallel, solve for X. So in this case, if I look at it, angles 2 and angle 7, those are consecutive exterior angles. And I'm already given that K and I are parallel, so that means I can go ahead and set it equal to 180 and do those same steps as I did on the last problem, combining like terms. First step, so I combined the 4 and the 2, the 20 and the 16, subtracted the 36 from both sides, divided by 6, and I got 24. And then again, I can substitute it back into my equation right here, and then just double check that it equals 180, and in fact, it does.